Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Oh, wow. I was reading your bio and I am very intrigued with your bio, what you sent me. Now, the part that I was laughing at is you have two sisters and a brother, and you said is it Angela?
Uh-huh.
The one a cook-off against Bobby Flay. That's what I was laughing at. Bobby Flay is a character.
Right,
You
right.
know,
He is. He is.
and to see that in there, I said, wow. I said, that's something else. So we got a singer, a writer, a cook. We got everything rolled up in one in your family. I bet you have one great holiday season, everybody around.
Sometimes we do. Yeah, sometimes we do. Uh-huh.
So what I intrigued about with you on here, not only gospel is in your blood, but you taught school. And I taught for a little bit, but when we were teaching school back then, when you were teaching, um, you actually taught. The reason why I'm saying that, because when I was teaching, I found out only 35% of the time I was teaching. The other times I was being a social worker, listening to everybody's problems, getting the class in control, getting them to do the stuff. And teaching takes a lot. It's a dedication, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's you're not only a social worker, but you're a friend. Sometimes they have physical needs where they're hungry. They might be acting out because they're hungry. And so you have to take and cue in on that. But it brings a lot of joy though too, because when you see the kids laughing or smiling or getting into your lesson that you're teaching them, it brings a real inspiration to you.
You said a key point right there, and the kids get into it. You can see they're getting involved and everything. When I was teaching, I was always told if you touch one child, if you touch one, you did a good deed. But I like touching all of them. you know,
Right,
you
right.
can. But some of them has, they I hate to say this word, but some come with baggage to class where it's from a broken home and all that stuff. And you can only do so much that you could do. And then lately, I'm not saying lately, but a few years back, parents actually thought that teachers supposed to raise their kids. They had that mentality back then, and that wasn't the case. You raise them at home, and you send them to school and let us teach them.
Right. Yeah, but and we have the kids more than the parents actually have in essence, in if you were counting the hours and the minutes in the day. But uh parents get that kind of mixed up, and they want you to take and discipline them in a way, but they don't want you to discipline them too much. Um they want you to be the mother, the father, the grandmother, or whatever have you. But sometimes you can try to fit into those roles pretty good, but then sometimes you can only do so much for the child because it's just impossible to do everything that the parents are expecting of you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're right about that. So I'm gonna switch gears on you. I want to talk about your music. Um, you write, you write your songs, right?
Yes.
You're right. So I'm looking at your songs right here. There's no better friend. Jesus and I, the cradle of God's arms. When you sit down and you write a gospel song, what comes into play with that? Is it a spirit that moves you to do it or life experience?
It can be both. Sometimes I can be listening to a gospel message, and I can get a little phrase from that message to take and write the song, or I can just kind of see something that happened that day and write the song, or something that just come to mind and you have to write it right then, or else you'll just lose it and you'll forget what you were thinking about. So I just try to keep a journal to keep write up the things down. And if I don't have the journal with me, I just get a little piece of scratch paper to write the thought down. Or sometimes what I do, I take and on my phone, you have that recorder, I'll try to record something with what I hear on the recorder.
Wow, you sound like things that I do. I still do. I keep a pad and a pen next to my bed because sometimes in the middle of the night something comes to me. Because when I have to write commercials and do all that, I get a mind block, and I do the same thing. Or I hear something, I put it on my phone or write it down. And I found myself, I have like 30,000 scratch piece of paper around my office. If I ever put it together, I could put together a book.
Right.
But you're always writing things down as you go along. But sometimes you find yourself that it doesn't fit the time right now. So with that, when it happens to you, you put things to the side. And when you come up with a new idea, do you always go back to what you wrote down maybe 6 months, maybe a year ago and look at it and it fits what you're doing right now?
What I do usually is if I'm writing something, I try to complete it, because if I don't complete it, I get kind of lost on what I was trying to portray to the audience. But I just try to complete it. But sometimes I don't have time, and it's just a piece of paper or it's in the journal book and it's not complete. But most of the time I try to go through it and sit there and make myself complete everything I was trying to do with it. And then I'll read it to somebody to get their opinion a lot of times. I ask my husband to listen to me sometimes as I read it to him, and he'll give me feedback on what he thought of it.
Yeah. Oh, we got our first question that came through. That was quick. Somebody just text, want to know, when you write your spiritual music, how do you compose the instruments that go with it?
Well, when I did the music part, when I did 2 CDs, on the music part, I have a friend who I would get with to do the recording, and he would take and get the instruments, the band together for me. And then we would go to the recording studio to practice and then record. So I didn't have to take and worry about the instrument part, unless I'm doing a song on the piano that I created. Then I just do it myself. But a lot of times if I'm doing a full band, then I'll have somebody else help me with that.
Wow. So how often have you stepped inside a recording studio?
Oh, maybe at least 3 or 4, 5 times, probably at least.
Okay. All right. That was from Betty from Atlanta to ask that question. Here's another one, and she's from New Jersey. Let me see. Trying to read her name. Jessica. Where can they get your music from?
I would have to take and send it to that person because it's not online. So I would have to take and send it to them.
Oh, okay. So, we do have a gospel show here on the radio station on Sundays from 6 a.m. until 12 noon. Well, if I reached out to you, will I be able to get some of that music and put it on our show?
Yes, I would give it to you to play.
All right. I want to ask that because this is a rarity where they can't find your music online.
Right.
It's not that rare because somebody is always hijacking something, doing something with it. So but let me see, it was something else on here. And you have a business going on right now with you and your husband?
Right. We have a real estate company. It's him, and we have one agent that works with us, and we've been doing real estate since about 98. And we have our, like I said, we're our own company, and we do mostly residential sales. And then sometimes we do rentals. So that's what we do. We don't do too much commercial, but it's mostly residential.
So throughout the past decade, how has the industry been going? Because I know some real estate friends, like right now, it's very slow right now, they say.
Yes, it's kind of slow. And then by the interest rate being so high, it makes a person's monthly mortgage go sky high. So it's not a buyer's market too much right now. So it's more in the seller's favor.
when it was a buyer market at back then, I was talking to some real estate people, and they saying there's a lot of people from California coming out here buying these homes and renting them out. Did you
Yes,
see that yourself?
yes, they are. They're building a lot of fourplexes and duplexes, apartments. They trying to buy different people's homes. If the person's late on their taxes, they're trying to do that. They constantly call you over and over saying they want to buy your home, which they didn't do years ago. But it's getting really, really bad where they're just like a greedy person just trying to take over.
Yeah. So if you get a first time buyer coming in and they're looking for a home, whether it's existing or to build, um, what advice do you give them before they even um, go that route of buying a home?
Okay, they would need to have at least a 620 credit score. So if you don't have that, we can help you and show you how to get the score up. But that was one thing that you really need is to have that. Once you get qualified, you don't want to buy anything in the process of trying to purchase the home because that'll knock the credit score back down. You would be hooked up with a mortgage person to help you go through the process. We would also take you to different builders or pre-owned homes to let you look to see which homes do you like. But a lot of the new homes are very, very high now. They're going higher and higher and higher. The houses that used to be like 150 or less than 200 or in the 350 to 400,000 range now. So it's not going to get any cheaper. If anything, it's going to get higher.
Yeah, and
So,
it does depends on the side of town that you pick.
right, it does.
Because I know on the east side perimeter, they're building new homes over there, and a lot of people are complaining because when they put that home up and they want $200,000 for that home, it's in a neighborhood where none of the houses are worth $200,000.
Right.
And then when the appraisal come out, a lot of people upset about the appraising since that house went up there. Their house is gonna go up, and a lot of people value went up this year with the new appraisal that came out. Even my house shot up. I said, "Ooh, really?" You know, when they appraise a house nowadays, do you know what process they go through to come up with the price for the house?
They go, they look at the homes in the neighborhood. They take about 3 homes and do it like a comparative market analysis of it. They take and look at that, and then they take and give that person, well, they give that person the value of their home, and then they take and tell you that this is what it's worth now.
Yeah. And some of them are shocked when they found the house was worth that and everything. So yeah. So somebody from California came to you and said they're looking for 6 homes to buy. Because I talked to people out in California. Our house for $250,000 here, that same house, be worth almost 750,000 in California. They just high out there. I don't know why, but they are. So they're coming here to invest more. And that's their investment going on to do this and do that. And when they come to you, say we need to look for homes like this out here. And they tell you specifically what homes they want. With that process being said, and they go ahead and do it, they say they don't want it over in Stone Oak. They want it somewhere that's medium value and stuff. So do you send them pictures? Do they come out and see you, or how do you go about that?
What I do, I usually ask them for their um, um, email account. And what I can do, I look up through the multiple listing service I see they tell me what side of town they want, how much, what price range they want to stay in, and then I take and compile a list, and then I email it to them, and then they look at it because on the MLS it'll have lots of pictures of the house going
Yeah.
all through the house, so they can take and tell me if they want to see it or not. If they want to see it, then I can set up a showing through our showing company. You just call it in and set up a time, and then they meet me there to see the home.
Wow. The real estate is something else. That's I haven't got into that. I see people to get into it and everything, but it is a good business when it's rolling. And hopefully in a few more years, barring what's going to happen in June, if we're going to default or anything, if we do that, things just going to come to a halt with real estate.
Right. I don't think they're going to do that. They just like to put fear tactics out there to
Yeah.
scare the public. But Biden will raise it up. He can do the 14th Amendment and say, okay, I'm gonna raise this anyway.
Right.
So, yeah.
Because American people should be held hostage. That's how I look at it. It's the American people over somebody else's ego and stuff. But no, we're not going to get into politics, right? Because this show could probably go on for 2 hours if we go into that, because things are crazy. Things are crazy. I want to get back to your schooling. You worked at Fort Sam Houston Elementary here, and the school that you graduated from used to be called Southwest Texas State University. Now it's Texas State University, right?
Yes.
That is the same school I went to get my teaching certification.
Oh, okay.
I seen that because I remember one class that we took, I think it was called course analysis, where we should be able to write a curriculum from scratch. But they informed us, this is what they informed, you can write one all you want if you started something new, but the school district have their own curriculum in place. You cannot mess with that. But then they said you could add things to it. When you were teaching school, did you sort of come in and add a little twist to things so the kids can learn a different way?
Okay, in music, I have lots of flexibility. So,
Oh,
oh yeah, I don't have just yeah, no. That's what I liked about music. Okay, so when I came to Fort Sam Houston, they had one raggedy piano, just a few instruments, and so I had to build the program up. And they did have a budget for me, so each year I could buy new instruments for the students to work with, and buy different curriculum programs to work with also. So, I was like my own entity. So I really enjoyed having the power to do that. We did have guidelines, but as long as I met my teaks on what to accomplish for each grade level for that year, then that's what's I had to go by. But it was a lot of fun working with that, because when I would get the new instruments in, it was like Christmas every year,
yeah.
because yeah. So anyway, so I enjoyed it. And then I also enjoyed doing big musicals, because I like to do big stage productions with the costumes and the dancing, and then I would have to create the dances for the kids. Then I had a drama teacher I also would work with, and they would work on the acting part of it. And then we would compile it all together. And then the art teacher would do the backdrops. So it was a lot of fun, and it was nice. So
Now, I'm gonna go back. You say about that good piano. I know you called it something else. Please answer one question. Was it in tune or out of tune?
it was out of tune, and it was just it was like it was 30 or 40 years old. So they had that piano a long time. I ended up buying an electric piano.
Okay, you didn't get that one tuned up?
Yeah, I would get it tuned up the first year.
But a lot of people don't know that it is an art in tuning up piano, because my sister, something happened to her hand at a younger age in her therapy. She started playing the piano. That girl get on piano, that no, that key's out of tone. That's like, I mean, after 2 years doing that, she could determine that. She ended up being a teacher. She taught piano and all that stuff. But I was amazed on how she could play something and she'll stop and say, it's out of tune. And then you get somebody out there to tune it. And that's very rare to find somebody that knows how to tune a piano real good. Because back in the days, everybody playing the piano, you had a bunch of people out there know how to tune. Now it's almost like a relic. You can't find them. I mean, they're out there, but they're not there like they used to be.
Right, right. Yeah, they are hard to find, but and then sometimes when they come to tune your piano, some of them will be honest with you and let you know there's certain things on the strings in the board that need to be repaired and it's going to cost too much. And do you want to go that route or not? So they'll just tune it as best as they can.
So how many keys is on the piano again?
88.
88. So I'm looking at, I was watching some of the keyboards have 101 keys. So that's not truly a piano then, is it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I see that. I see 101 keys. I said, okay. Getting back to piano, the black keys. I was talking to somebody gospel that said that back in the days that most blacks in gospel use the black keys. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, a lot of the gospel pianists um, use play in minor chords. You use a lot of minor chords. Some of the chords they use, you would have to take and sit there and watch them to try to get those chords. But and then some of them will take the time to show you what they're exactly doing. But you know, a lot of gospel pianists have their own style, which is good because I like the gospel style, and I play a lot of gospel music. So that you know, they do really good to me. And then a lot of them play by ear. A lot of them don't read music.
I'm glad you brought that up. That is a good point. I talk to so many churches when I go around churches. Our church travel everywhere, and I try to go to each one I go to. And I asked them, I said, "Do you?" And I noticed there's no sheet music up there. Did you play? No, I play by memory and knowing how to do it. And I said, "Is that hard to do?" I said, "No, it's not hard to do." But somebody told me what the hardest part for them when they went to learn how to play off sheet music. They said that was real hard to do. It's almost like it's structured. This is what you got to do, because when you freelance and playing, you just going along and you know what you're going to do down the line. And this one particular one in Waco, Texas, saying that was a hard transition for him to make. It took him 3 years to get used to reading sheet music. But he said, I like it, but I do fall back to my old style every once in a while when I'm up there.
Right.
So but you teaching music in school and stuff, did you have a choir there too?
I had a choir. I did buy small little keyboards for the kids, and I would teach them just basic things on the keyboard that where they could, when they got older in life, they could take that with them. One day I was at the skating ring, and a little girl came up to me and she said, "You taught me piano." And you know, I was it's always fun to see somebody after they've gotten older. And then what this past Sunday, I went to the gym and the guy that was at the desk said, you weren't you the music teacher at Fort Sam? And I said, yes. And he said, I recognized you as soon as you walked in. So it's always fun to see some of your old students, you know, how they've grown up. But yeah, so that's what I want to say on that.
Yeah, it is nice when they remember you when you go through stage like that. I remember my sister piano teacher, Mrs. Sparks, and she was exceptional on things. I told myself for the past 20 years, I'm gonna learn how to play the piano. I haven't done it yet. I've been telling myself I'm gonna do that because I watched my sister play. And some jazz artists play the piano that I know, and they just go through it And I mean, it's just remarkable on things you could do with that piano. Have you had any kids that open up once you introduce them to the piano? It's just like a whole new world open up to them.
Yes, they really get excited about it because I only not only did I teach piano, but I taught them guitar, the basics. I'm not a fabulous guitar player, but I can teach you just basic things on it and how to read and get the chords on the guitar. But with the pianos, a lot of them would want to take and learn it. I've had adults that I've taught, and what I usually say to the adults is, "You're not going to finish this," and they'll say, "Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Yes, I am," because I already know how adult schedules is. They're excited for a little while. They'll play, and then all of a sudden, then when they start coming back after a few weeks, then they haven't practiced. Oh, Sandra, I didn't have time this week. So now we're going back over the same lesson. But after a while, when you're the teacher, you get kind of tired of hearing the same lesson over and over because they didn't learn it or they didn't practice it at all. But with the kids, some of them would take and do it really, really good. And I even tried it with my grandkids, trying to get them. And they'll start off pretty good for a while, and then they just kind of want to fade off. But I've had some that did really, really good with piano.
Yeah, because I like kids molding them when they find something that's their niche and they go for it. I love seeing them light up. It's something that light up in them and they're ready to go. And because my grandson, not playing instruments, but him learn how to play basketball. Grandpa, watch this. And I watch him. That boy be going for hours, just hours. He wants to make sure it's right. And so, going back to my sister, when she started playing piano, she didn't like it. She didn't, but something of light went off in her head, and she just started playing and kept on playing. You wouldn't have to ask her to practice; she'll come home and just practice for hours. So,
Mhm.
it's hard to find that niche like that. And when you're doing an instrument, you have to be dedicated to it.
Right, right. Yeah, and I know my first piano teacher, I never will forget, her name was Miss Kelly. And she had a dog that would be right by the bench while we were sitting there. And if you didn't do something right, she would take a ruler and pop your hand. So I didn't really care for Miss Kelly that much. And then I had another piano teacher. My mom and them had to take us downtown. That's when we lived in Kansas City. And this teacher was an alcoholic, and she had to go take a little drink before she would start the lessons. And then she would take a lot of mouthwash to cover it up. But she was fair, but those were my two extreme teachers that I had. But then when I went to college, I had a really, really good teacher, and I really enjoyed it. And she was brought out the best. And I had to do a piano recital for when I graduated, right before I graduated for my senior year. But I really got off into it, and I also played the trumpet for a while. Um, I didn't really want to play trumpet, but that's what the instrument my dad had because he was a trumpet player. So in fifth grade, I started trumpet, and I played it all through high school, and I played it up until my 30s or 40s, and then I stopped on that.
What is that little deal that my sister was playing piano? I forget what it was. It just go back and forth. I
Oh,
guess
that's the metronome.
what does that do for
It
somebody
keep
playing piano?
it keeps the time. It helps you keep a steady beat while you're trying to play a particular piece.
Okay. Question. I gotta get back to this one. This one came from who's this from? Rebecca here in San Antonio. What are the pedals on the bottom of the floor piano? What are those used for?
Okay, you have a sustained pedal, you have a soft pedal, and you have a pedal a damper pedal. So one of them, the one on the right, is used to take and make it kind of blend, and then so that's what they're used for. And then the one you can take and hit it, and it'll just hold a note for you while you're going through it. And then the soft pedal just makes it where the music is softer.
Oh, wow. See? So it's almost like driving the car. You got to know which pedal to use at
Uh-huh.
your
But
time.
most of the time you just use one pedal, the one all the way to the right. That's the main one you use all the time. You don't hardly use the other two.
Wow. See? So now you tell me now, when you were at the school, you switched to a keyboard. Of course, with a keyboard. Now, what I'm getting at, some keyboards, can you record what you're doing and then it'll play back automatically?
Right, right. You just have to be, adept to knowing how to do all that. I'm not real good on doing that, but I have friends that are better, better at it than I am. But you can take and record, and then it'll play it back for you. Um, you can add different instruments, all different types of sounds. So it's really advanced now.
Yeah. You remember a singer by the name of Timmy Thomas?
No.
He used a piano like that. He's a one-hit wonder. He had a song, Why Can't We Live Together? It was just him. When he came out with that machine that he built himself, they thought that was revolutionized music. You won't need a full band anymore. Well, he only had one hit. So it
Oh,
really it really didn't go as far as they thought it would go, but it was a good hit. It was nice. It was something different and stuff. So the other one is, what is that piano that looks like something you wind up and you hit a button and it plays the piano for you automatically and it plays everything. I forget what that was called. It was back in the days and it was a full-blown piano and it was like it was music. It was punched out and it'll roll around the wheel automatically and it will play the piano, the song.
um, I don't remember on that.
Yeah. I that just came to me. I seen that somewhere. I thought somebody was playing piano. They had this old school piano in there that was playing it that I'd
Mhm.
never seen. I forgot the name of it, but that just came to my mind and I was talking because I said, where are those things at right now? But
Right.
it
Mhm.
so if anybody want to get a hold of you and want to know about your gospel music, how can they do that?
They could just email me, but my gospel poem books are online. Um, they that the I have two books. One's called "There's No Better Friend, Jesus," and then the other one's "In the Cradle of God's Arms." Um, Both of those are on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble sites. You can find my books there.
Okay, yeah, I did talk about that earlier, but I didn't go deep into your inspirational books. Writing those books, when you sat down and write them books, it was just a thought process, or do you have everything pulled together, putting those books together when you wanted to do it?
Okay. Like I said, I keep it in a journal usually. And then after I've kind of perfected it, then I take and get with the publisher that I work with and send him a copy of everything that I've done. They go through it and they're supposed to take and edit it. And then I add pictures with it. And they kind of place the pictures on different pages. And then they'll send it back to me for me to proof it again. And then sometimes I'll find different things wrong and then I'll send it back. So it's a back and forth process for a while until we get it. And when it's finally done, then they'll send it to the publisher and and uh and then you wait for it to come back and then you have a finished copy of your book. So, it's real exciting getting that book back because um like I say, these are the first two books that I've done. So it was a real exciting process. And I just thank the Lord for giving me the inspiration to do it.
Yeah, because a lot of people nowadays, when they write a book, they use a ghostwriter. You know, they send information to the ghostwriter, they put it together, they send it back to you, and then they say, "Yeah, I wrote the book." No, you didn't. You gave the ghostwriter all the information. They wrote it for you. Because I think, if to me, my personal opinion, if you're gonna write a book, you need to write it yourself, because only you know the thought process that's going into that, because it's you. If you give somebody 10 different things, that's what you want in the book, they could come up with any scenario that goes to that book. It may not be the right one that you were there with. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yes, right.
So
Yes. Can I do one of my poems for you?
you sure can. I was getting ready to ask you that. That was on my list right here.
Uh,
All right, go for it.
okay, this one is called Stuff. Okay, big stuff, little stuff, all kinds of stuff. All this stuff will pass one day. We've worked so hard to accumulate cars, houses, clothes, shoes, fancy furniture, all just stuff. Some stuff is tucked away so far, we've totally forgotten it even exists. One day, your stuff will be given away, burned, or thrown out for trash. What? I work day and night for that stuff. Do you not see its value? In the eyes of the next person, it either has some value or it is just worthless stuff. So that's one.
Oh, I like that. You know, when you said that, I remember when you said throwing out, my uncle told me one time, if you haven't used it in a year, you don't need it. That was his way of saying things. And he's absolutely right. And somebody told me the other day, since you brought it up, they said, I never know how much stuff I collected when I moved.
Right, right.
I like that. That hit the point stuff. That's a good one. You have another one for us?
Yes, uh-huh. Uh, this one is called Because of Adam. We are born into this world sinners because of Adam's transgression. Come on, Adam. Adam, how could you do this, man? Generation after generation suffering because you had to listen to your wife. Of all people, you had it made. Get up, go to bed. You didn't even have to cook or work for that matter. Now we have to work in some form or fashion the majority of our lives because of you, Adam. That's that one.
I'm gonna ask something right. I'm gonna take this and edit it. I may use that in our show somewhere down the line. Put your poem in there that you just read.
That's fine.
I like that. I like both of those. Adam, what's wrong with you, Adam? and
Okay.
the guys, you brought that up. A friend of mine name was Adam. I never knew how much flack he got for that name until he told me. My dad named me Adam. I never hear the end of it from everybody. People who's not religious talk about Adam. I said, that means you touched them. If they weren't religious and they know about you now, well, maybe they're gonna pick up the Bible and read it, Adam.
Right. Can
It
I do
was
another?
funny.
Can
You
I do
sure
another
did.
one?
Yes,
Okay.
Dad.
This one's called A Mother's Cry. A mother wails for her lost son, a life lost through the barrel of a gun. Another wails, wondering how to cope. She has lost her child at the hands of dope. That mean old devil laughs when the death angel appears. He sits back and cheers and cheers. Life is precious. Don't throw it away. We all must stand before the Lord, come what may. Don't live the street life. It is full of envy, bitterness, and strife. The Lord's way is peaceful, gentle, full of love, hope, and life.
Mhm. Wow.
Mhm.
Horrible. Horrible.
Uh-huh.
It goes like what's going on today.
Right,
What's
right.
going on today. I mean, ooh. So how often do you read your poetry?
I sometimes at different churches, they'll invite me to come to their church, and I'll read the poems, and then I might do a couple of songs, and that's how it's done. But I love going out to be a part of, because I want that to be part of my ministry to share. So just like I say, when somebody invites me, I try to go out to take and share it with the public.
Well, I'm gonna give you a call offline. We have something coming up, and they're looking for um a few people to do some things. It's for Juneteenth. And I'm gonna call you offline and let you know what's going on, see if is this something that you are willing to do. I don't want to say anything right now till I call that person and find out, but I would love to have you come out and do some of these poems.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, that touches the soul right there. It, oh boy. Me without words right now? No, not Ron. Yeah, Ron is. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming on a little early today. And I'm gonna get back with you because I do want to talk to you some more. I'm gonna make a couple phone calls because I love those three poems you just did, and I think everybody should have a chance to hear those poems.
Okay.
Oh,
All
they
right.
will. I'm gonna edit it, and during the week next week, I'm gonna insert it in certain spots of my show, and make sure I say your name
Oh, okay.
and stuff, and do that. So that's what I'm gonna do. So it was,
Right. Yeah, you can just tell them that they can find it on Amazon, Walmart, or Barnes and Noble sites. That's where they can find those books.
and I would definitely look it up and put it on the website and on my Facebook page.
Oh, I appreciate it. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
All right, Sandra, you take care. Nice having you on. I love that beautiful smile you got. I did see one thing about you. When we started talking about piano and musical stuff, you had that twinkle in your eye, like, wow. I see that was your passion right there. And you love that. And I could see that. And I said, look at her. I don't know, struck a nerve right now. I know exactly, So, when you talk about things like that, that passion comes out. And I see your passion come out over music and stuff. And that's a gift. Everybody don't have that gift like you have it. And you keep on doing what you're doing because God is blessing you all way around.
No, I know he is, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate you having me on your show. And if any of the people need help with real estate, our company is called Fergins and Associates Realty. If they ever need any help with that, our business line is 210-549-4201, and we would love to help them get into their dream home.
And if anybody asks me about anything like that, I'll direct them your direction.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do for you? I have a book right here. It's called The Warrior Within by Dr. Veronica Brooks. She's here in San Antonio. She wrote a memoir about her story. Let me see if we can see it right here. Here it is. Can you see it?
Yes.
All right. If you turn around and you send me your address, I will mail you that book.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I think that'd be a reading that book would make you happy, make you sad, make you angry, happy, all that together. It's a true story. And I'm gonna send this book to you.
Okay, I appreciate it. And then I can send you my books also so that you'll have them.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right.
All right, you take care and we'll talk to you later, Sandra.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, all right, bye.
Bye.